Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my name is Otufodunrin. I'm the Executive Director of Media Career Development Network, organizers of the Fact Check training supported by the U.S. Consulate.
Yes. Fact checking. We already know that it's very important these days, especially as a lot of people now pose as journalists without training and all that. How would you explain to the reading and writing publics how to actually fact check so that misinformation and fake news can be minimized?
Well, the thing is for us to be aware that there's a lot of misinformation around because when everybody is sharing information, there's a chance that they are not going through the proper channels for verification. So when you get this information from somebody who is not authorized to share that information, you need to query how that person get that information. So the simple thing to do is to cross check. When you receive an information that appears to be out of the ordinary, cross check from platforms where you should have this information, from verified organizations that are licensed to do so. You have pedigree of sharing correct information. So it's as simple as they say this has happened, put it on Google, see who else has published it. When you see it from a verified platform, then you know that it can be true. Although even some verified organizations also get it wrong once in a while, but the chances of getting it wrong is very, very slim. So be wary of information. That's what we now call disinformation. Some people just sit down in the corner of their house and share false information because they have an agenda. They want you to believe something that may not be true. So when you get that kind of a thing, cross-check. Or even ask the person sending to you, where did you get this from? Ask that question. Are you sure? What is the basis of this? Look at the organizations that are quoted. Go and check them out. They say Google is your friend. Just type on Google this information. See where it's coming from. So it's as simple as that. Or ask, you know, or you will receive a WhatsApp message. It's showing shared severally. That should tell you that the thing is just going viral. And when things is going viral, there must be something about it. Even when it is true, why are people sharing it severally? And see maybe other comments. If you're on a WhatsApp group and somebody has shared an information, see what others have said before about it. Some people who know better may have said, look, this is fake. This is not true. So that is something that you can do practically. Or if it's on a website, read the comments under that story. Or Twitter, read other comments that people who are knowledgeable are always countering false information. So that's the simple thing that but know that we live in an age when there is so much information and falsehood is being peddled as truth.
Now, you talked about getting to find out the source of the information.
Yeah.
After a novice gets to the source of the information, how further does he or she fact check to be sure that that source of information is authentic?
If the source is the authorized source, so if they say something that maybe a state governor has done something, you can call his press secretary and find out whether it is true. When that person says it's true, if you're a journalist, you can report that his press secretary confirmed that it's true. If you're not a journalist, but you have some level of that to say, look, his press secretary has said it's true, so chances that it can be true is there. So like one of our lecturers said, is the levels of verification. Who should you speak to? Who should you ask? Who should know? Who has known in the past? Who have said the truth in the past? Check from where you have gotten correct information in the past so that you can continue to get the right one.
How would you be able to advise adamant fake stories peddlers and disinformation agents? How would you like to advise them?
They should know that what they are doing is not right. Which makes it punishable for spreading falsehood. So they can be arrested at the end of the day. They stand a chance of being, and people, they lose integrity. It's a matter of time. People will know them for what they specialize on. So it's not something good. They should use their time, the same data they are using to spread information, to spread the right information and be known as a credible source. That's my advice for them.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, sir. May I know your name and what's your intention, what you are doing here at
My
this
name
event?
is David Ajikobi. I am the Nigeria editor for Africa Check. Africa Check is a fact-checking organization in Africa. We operate in different countries, including Nigeria. And essentially what we do is to reduce the amount of false information on the public space, because we believe and we know from evidence that the quality of information that people have available to them can affect the kind of decisions they make. So that's essentially what we do, through our various works. Yeah.
If I may ask, how troubled are you concerning the issue of fact checking because of the existence of fake news and disinformation?
I would say that we're gravely concerned about the import, and the impact and the implication of disinformation and misinformation in democracies. Particularly in a democracy like Nigeria. Nigeria is a context. It's a very valid context because we're a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multilingual country, more different languages, and just one misinformation or disinformation can tear the country apart because it's already a volatile ecosystem, where people are just trying to make sure that we will exist as one. So you can imagine when people now push a narrative of false information that could potentially cause this country to break up. Or, particularly my concern is even more for the general elections coming. We think that if we do not have do something about disinformation, we've seen in the previous elections that disinformation can undermine the integrity of the elections, can undermine the process itself, and if we're not careful, can affect, can be a negative impact in democracies.
Would you be able to say that successive governments in Nigeria had been one way or the other encouraging misinformation and fake news peddling?
In terms of saying successive governments, what I can say is that we do see that some government officials, have also in different governments, do sometimes push out false information on Twitter or in different spaces. But the hope is that, with more media literacy, and the media literacy work that we're doing is not just for government officials, but for everybody. We hope that with more media literacy, people will be more discerning before they push out false information or disinformation or misinformation. And we hope that also, because if people understand the implications of pushing out those things, they will be more circumspect about even orchestrating disinformation campaigns.
Actually, what we have done here today is very educative and informative. But I'm worried about the general reading and writing publics who are not opportune to be here today. We know that today, unlike in the days of yore, there are so many people who are self-acclaimed journalists. How would you be able to translate what you have taught us here today? How would you be able to, in a very short sense, explain to people, especially those who are non-journalists, how they can fact check so that fake news peddling can be minimized?
I think the first thing to say to people out there is that whatever you see on social media, is not. There's a lot of false information and false, misleading, and dangerous information on social media. So if you know that, I don't think anybody who knows that will want to self-injure. Let's have that at the back of our minds. But after that, when you see for an information that stokes you, that makes you angry or whatever it is, pause before you share. Reflect. Where is this coming from? Who is the author? What are their interests? Who do they stand for? There's so many Twitter handles, for example, that are supporting different political parties, ideologies, and things like that. We're not saying that all of them are, but the idea is that always know where people stand, where the standpoint of different actors are. So that way it helps you really decipher what's false, what's misleading, or what's unproven. It's not all information that is false. There's credible information online. Some might be unproven, some might be overstated or understated. But it's for us to understand that we have to pause, reflect before we share news or anything we see online.
But specifically, what tools can be made use of to actually detect when a particular story is fake?
So first and foremost, in terms of verifying a story, you look at other credible sources first. click before you click. Look at if other credible sources, other credible media organizations are reporting it. If it's a video, or if it's a picture rather, you can do a reverse image search. There's TinHi, there's RevHi, there's Google reverse image search that you can use to search different databases like Google, like Yandex, like Bing, so that if a picture already exists online and you're using it to push a narrative about, okay, this happened yesterday, but it happened 5 years ago, that is false and misleading. So you can use those verifications to like reverse image. If it's a video, you can use InVid, for example. You can even take a screenshot of a video and search it on the database. You'll be shocked about what might come up. So there are a lot of tools, open source internet tools that you can use to verify information and news you see online.
Oh, thanks a lot, Mr. David.
Thank you very much.
It's been nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
And you
Have a
too.
blessed day.